Thank you very much for joining us. I am Iyori Folani. Just the other day on Friday, hope you had a great weekend, by the way. On Friday, we were talking about the situation in Edo. And, we heard from Edo. We also heard from in studio. But no doubt you would have seen the news over the weekend. Has the crisis worsened? Because dignitaries were attacked in Edo State. And since then, it's been accusation and counter-accusation as to who indeed was responsible. Edo has been locked in this sort of tussle, battle for supremacy, reportedly, between the APC chairman and the sitting governor, Obaseki. So that's the way we see it. And the Oba of Lagos was an honored guest. Mr. Aderemi Makanjuola, Mr. Kekere Ekun, the vice chancellor of the university, that was, yes, all of these people were there. And they were caught in a very hairy situation. Only God knows what must have been going on in their minds. According to newspaper reports, cars were damaged and all of that. But all of this happened, as it were, on the front steps of the chairman of APC, who, according to the story, had invited all these dignitaries to lunch, something protocol, before they leave town and all of that. All of you come over to lunch. The governor was also there, the sitting governor. So now it's become a matter of, because first of all, the first salvo that the APC chairman shot was that this was the handwork of the deputy governor of the state, who has vehemently denied it. And so this is the situation we have on our hands, and we're wondering, is the situation getting worse? And some people were saying that, look, these squabbles, if it is no more than that, if it is nothing more fundamental than that, these squabbles could have a telling effect on the outcome of, the elections. And that, again, is another issue, this whole matter of re-election or election of a governor. Well, I've prattled on enough. My guest this morning, Mr. Charles Ideho, who is a journalist, and he's many things as well, but let me just leave it at journalist. Thank you very much, Charles, for coming on. My pleasure. Right. And Mr. Ahmed Dada Abbas, well, he's a lawyer and public affairs analyst, but apart from that, he's also the newly appointed chair of Queen's College in Yaba, Lagos. Congratulations there. So your daughter's in there and you're having a hands-on approach. God bless you.
Thank you, sir.
God
you forgot to add that I'm an Edo son.
Well, yeah. And indeed, you are an Edo son. But this actually doesn't depend. That is, contributors don't need to be Edo.
No, let them know that I'm an Edo son.
Let it be known that
proudly so.
You are an Edo son, and hopefully non-aligned.
Non-aligned, yes. Yeah. Because I'm a journalist.
Yes,
we are supposed
exactly.
We're supposed to be as possibly to remain in the middle,
exactly.
Get information here, and then for us to dish this information and allow people to make do with whatever they want to do. So that's our job as journalists.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
because it's going to be a problem. Because as soon as you ask from side A, they will give you a story and an account, which will be diametrically opposed by the other account, as you know. Let me start before we. Well, since you've been following it as a journalist, most people, even you yourself, sir, would have been following this. Let me start for the journalistic point of view. The governor, Obaseki, was actually in the entourage or team, bunch of guys that were heading to the APC's chairman house. I read one account that said that the APC had earlier invited all these dignitaries. The governor found out about it and I said, oh, if my chair, so the report in the newspaper goes, if my chair is hosting people, then for sure, I'm part of that, And so he, along with his governor, they joined in. That's the account. It's an anecdote. I don't know if that's what happened. But the important thing is that they were attacked on his doorsteps. What's going on here?
Well, what's happening at this stage is quite sad. But let me state here that because apart from being a journalist, I visit home regularly, get information about what's happening in my state, because I'm also a stakeholder. Because I'm thinking that some days to come, people like us will also be called home to come and also bring to bear in our own experience that we have gathered here and there over the years as journalists, as administrators, as a communicator as well. So what's happening in Edo is very sad. But I do believe that Oshiomhole and Obaseki on their own do not have a problem. There are people who are feasting for me. I tell you who those people are. when Obaseki got there, he was not a politician, okay? So he actually didn't understand the rudiments of having to, take care of some people here and there. But he just felt he's
been billed as a technocrat.
He came in, he was elected to do a job. He felt that he needed no distraction from all this issue of political hangers on. But again, that's not too good, because you ought to have been tutored that once you are a politician, whether you are, I want to step in there are people that will hang us on.
In politics, that's not the way it runs.
That's right.
Even if you're a technocrat.
You ought to have been told that one. But, well, that's gone now. The people who are actually fueling the embers of this dispute are those who feel cheated. They are feeling left out. Because these are the people who something will happen, rather than face the governor, maybe to accuse him at home. These are the people who will go to Abuja to now have the ear of the national president, national chairman of APC, who was a two-time governor of that state, who handed, against all odds, he said Obaseki had all it takes to take over from him. I mean, Odubu was with him for 8 years. So we were all thinking that the baton of leadership was going to be handed over to Odubu to continue from, where he left with that legacy. But he said no, that he saw something in Obaseki that he believed that would take Edo to a greater glory. But that's what I'm saying, that I personally believe that they had no problem. There are people who are actually fanning the embers of this dispute that I think that they've been through Edo sons. They are our leader. All of us are looking up to them. I believe that they should do something about it. Though. I also say, if someone in age and everything, also call Obaseki, who is his political godson, to call him to come over. Let's resolve this man. If he does that, all these people who are feasting from it, they will know that there's so much war for them to battle to fight.
Okay, I'm going to come back to you, Charles. What he suggested last, we've been seeing reports that attempts at that had been made in the past, but somehow they had fallen through. It's a bit difficult to know exactly what's going on, but when you look at the body language of both, parties, I don't know. Even though they say they don't have a problem, one will say, Oshiomhole will say he has no issue, he has no problem with the governor. The governor will say that he has no issue with his, principal, or what is the word, his chairman. Yet we're seeing this kind of ominous kind of peace. And the point has been made that if APC is not careful, it actually might cost it in the next election, the way things are going. Give me your thoughts, please.
It's actually unfortunate that we, in this 21st century, where other nations are looking at the possibility of relocating their people from the earthly, to outer space where they could be, we are still quagmired in this crude political, skirmishes of, and the governor has to settle us and all the rest of them. It's the level of our political development. The man was elected to do a job. It is not part of his duty. It is not in the Constitution. I understand when we begin to say, yes, it is part of the politics. For God's sake, we must allow culture to change, to evolve. Saying a political office holder has to keep settling people aside the dividend of democracy that flows to the people through the barrel of policies and programs and manifesto of the government. And it's something that we must discourage. If you go to the local government in Nigeria today, most of them will tell you. I had the opportunity of interacting with a local government chairman sometimes in Edo State. And he told me point blank, when you get there, they will hand over list of people that you have to settle.
That's right.
Including magistrates, including DPO, including judges, including traditional rulers. At the end of the day, he said, look, what you see on paper, I have no control over it. Because I was taking him up that, look, for God's sake, you do not need 20 years to make an impact. You don't need 8 years to make an impact. If you have a clear sense of what you ought to do as a leader, one day is enough for you to make an impact. One day is enough in the life of a visionary leader to impact his people. Show a clear sense of direction that I came here not trying to study what is wrong, that I already have interrogated the problem. I have tailor-made solution. homegrown, well thought out, globally relevant ideas. So until
and you know the governor, the Governor Obaseki and Comrade Oshiomhole, when he was governor, were very close working partners.
Yeah, very close.
So I heard.
Very close.
Very close.
Most
in terms of knowing what the bag is in Edo State and having an idea about what to do about it, I imagine he had all of those. But the point you are making is that it flows from Charles' point that these people don't always have free hands. And I wanted to ask that, look, this is not exclusive to Edo State. What you said about being handed a list, it's a Nigerian thing, up and down, without any exception. It must be said. But I don't know how the situation has been managed in Edo or not been managed in Edo, and the whole thing has boiled over.
Well, I think I quite agree. I quite appreciate the fact that he wants a total change of attitude
and do some work for once.
Yeah, but
do some work.
But as we speak,
as opposed to rent seekers,
it might be pretty difficult. Now, there are two categories of people who are around political office holders.
Okay,
some of them are those who don't have jobs. They dwell in that political industry where they feed from. That's category one. Category number two are those who may not necessarily want to give them money, but they want to be politically relevant. For instance, Yori is governor of Edo State. Charles Edeho is Yori's friend. Okay, I have people who are in my constituency, my constituency. Now, all I need to do, somebody comes to maybe, somebody comes, sir, I need a job, I need something from the governor.
Yeah.
We know you are close to him.
That influence.
Now, all I need to do in his presence to know that I'm close, I pick up a call and call Yori. Yes. His Excellency, sir. So I want you to do. Oh, governor's okay.
Okay, there
send
are
your name to me.
Those kind of people
now,
also.
He doesn't need money from you.
Yes.
But he needs that relevance. So when you cut the line of communication between you and those people, they feel aggrieved.
And you want to do it by the book.
Exactly.
That it's a merit.
Yes.
Let's say you want to bring meritocracy, for instance.
So you understand what I'm saying now. So this category of people, they just don't want. It's not as if they want money from you, but they just want to remain politically relevant, to continually be on the corridors of power, so that they have direct access to the chief executive. But these are the people that most of them feel that they have been cheated, they have been cut off.
When they are studying political science in the universities, which part of it?
I don't know. It's homegrown.
This part is not in the syllabus.
We're all looking for a homegrown democracy. So we got homegrown democracy.
Can I add to what he's saying? You see, we must call a spade a spade. We are all students of Nigerian history. Whatever relevance they are seeking for, whatever relevance that you said they are seeking for, is not diverse from selfish, self-centered,
of course,
pecuniary interests. That is just it. The reason why, look, as of today, any governor that says he wants to be a technocrat, fashion out policies and programs that will impact the people's life, will run into problems because we have this hanger on. And for me, my philosophy is that, you see, when we keep using the word impossible, we will never think outside the box to prefer solutions to our problem. If we have to surgically operate some attitude, we have to. Can I give you a typical example? You just congratulated me. I'm the caretaker committee chairman of the Queen's College Parent Teachers Association. Okay. I took over last week, Saturday. Guess what? Please, I'm on air. You can ask parents, you can investigate. When Queen's College is resuming in Lagos, it's also a tug of war in the whole of the vicinity.
Yeah.
It's to Sabo, Yaba, Pangrove, Onikpan. The entire environment will be locked, jacked down. I was an accidental. I've always complained to them. I said, I find it ridiculous that you will complain about a governor managing 20 million people and the president managing 200 million Nigerians. And you can't organize a school of about 4,000 students in a decent manner. You constitute nuisance. I said, I won't take it. When they made me the chairman, the school was to resume 5 days later, on a Thursday. I sat down with the team. Even my team members said, we can't do anything because the days was too short. I said, because you have not interrogated the problem and you have actually not designed or thought out a solution. I said, you what? Resumption on Thursday would be hitch-free, stress-free. I sat down. I engaged the management. They gave us the go-ahead. Please, go. A woman sent to the parents' platform that in my 6 years in Queen's College, the resumption of Thursday was the most beautiful.
Okay.
What did we do? we held everybody accountable. You drive in, drop your kid, and you drive out. Parents don't come down because they used to be the problem. They come down, they don't want to go. So that's why.
The last hug, the last kiss.
Yeah, thank you. So the school had problem of telling parents to leave the school even after 6 o'clock. So we designed a program that you drive in, we have security men, they ensure the parents don't come down from the car. You drop your kids and you're on your way out. Believe me honestly, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 1 minute, 4 minutes, people were dropping their kid. And for the first time,
because they were prepared that this is not
but
the same as before.
Well, yes,
because they knew in advance. What?
The gentleman barrister, can I tell you why? Sorry. Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
That's a very beautiful scenario. A template has laid down.
Yes.
I hope they're going to build upon that. But you see, why that scenario is different from the political scenario we're talking about now is that before, when you seek election, okay, you want as an aspirant, there are people who are going to hold on the ladder for you. Most people will spend their money printing souvenirs, printing everything, banners and all that, in order to ensure your victory.
And
okay,
an eye on returns as well.
Because it's an investment. That's what I'm talking about. Some of them want to be financially relevant. Some of them want to be relevant by status. Whatever relevance they are seeking, they have invested in
the investment
in your emergence.
Yes.
So it will be a payback time when you have now been inaugurated to make sure that these people they remain relevant in your government. And this is when you're not cut short, you're not cut off like umbilical cord.
Yes.
There's a problem. So
now it will become war, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Can I?
So yes,
I think what you see. These problems are...
Because what you gentlemen are doing, you're trying to give background, unseen background to some of these crises.
See, I think what we should be helping are those who are close to our elected officials and others, so that when you are sponsoring a candidate or you are part of a project to install a governor or a political office holder, I think what the political office holder should also be telling them is this. Please, I am not going there.
No, he can't do that.
Wait.
Let me see. Difficult.
Wait now.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm suggesting something.
Go ahead.
Because you see, most times, the Yorubas will say, you see, what you will not take when you're a billionaire, when you are still a kobonia, you allow people to know so that you don't get there. What you are saying now,
yes.
You see, when you are not principled, you know, Mahatma Gandhi said one of the 7 social deadly sins is politics without principle.
Yes.
You see, when you are going and you do not state your terms, and you get there, and the expectation, you people did not address it, you run into a problem. For God's sake, there's nothing wrong if you are going into politics to say, look, I know you guys are making investment, but I would rather prefer you sit down and put your brain to work to bring me proposal that will add value to the society, and you end up making whatever you want to make as a consultant to the government. But that you would sit down when I become the governor of a state and think I will dip my hand into coffers of the government and dish out money. Because what we are doing in Nigeria...
If you let it be known what you're saying, if you let this be known from the very get-go.
Yes.
Now, good idea. But you see, when you're doing utopia...
You know, as we're talking about this, and we're talking about what the danger that we all escape. Because imagine people like the Oba of Lagos, imagine people like Remi Makonjuola, Kekereekun, and all these guys, even the VC. Imagine if they'd been hurt, for goodness sake. The whole thing would have, and I'm reminded from what he was saying, what Ahmed was saying, when late Chief Ganifawe of blessed memory, when he was also vying for the presidency. Remember how his own rallies used to be? It was known. He didn't even need to say what Dada's just said. He didn't need to say it. They knew that you can't go to Ganifawe if you were to be president.
But did he get there?
That is the point I'm saying.
Good.
The people who loved him. Wait, the people who loved him, who followed him, who liked him.
But they didn't queue behind him.
Senior advocate of the masses, etc., etc. When it came to putting this man in office, everybody just looked the other way. Say, that's going to be a very, very dry presidency.
To expand the argument. You see, those utopian ideas are very, very powerful, very good. But you see, when you vie for...
You call them utopian.
No, I tell you why. No, I'm very emphatic.
I'm
very emphatic. Why I say it's utopia.
Okay.
Even though I desire it, I also seek for it to be entrenched, also to be benchmarked in a political process. But you see, where we have the problem is that those who are, when you seek nomination, you are going to leave those utopian ideas and begin and stoop low to go get to eat amala and boli with them.
Yes.
Now, when you begin to now canvass those utopian ideas, even before you even get nomination, they're going to pull the rug off your feet. And somebody who will play ball in parentheses will be the man who is going to be, probably going to receive the nomination. So
that's the nature of politics in Nigeria.
That's it. That's why I said I wish these utopian ideas would work in our politics. I will be happy.
Can I take it off from there?
Yes,
what you call utopia today would become a reality tomorrow. All you need is for people to keep advocating it. Martin Luther King Jr. said, the true measure of a man is not where you stand in times of peace and comfort, but where you stand in times of difficulty, challenge, and controversy. We are at a controversial junction in our nation's history where we need to keep pointing the society where it ought to be going. Yeah, you have a culture. When killing of twins was a culture in Calabar in those days, it took somebody standing up and said, this is abnormal.
Yes.
It was a culture. But somebody...
And it wasn't a one-day affair.
Sir, when apartheid was a law
yes.
in South Africa, it took a man 27 years of speaking what looked like an utopian idea. It was a law written in black and white. Apartheid was a law. But it took somebody consistently looking at the entire society. It was him versus the government. In fact, they thought, this guy is just one rascal that is disturbing our peace. Let us take him out of circulation. There will be peace in the society. They took him out 27 years, and they discovered that he wasn't the problem. The problem was that the society was sick, and somebody need to tell the society, you are sick. But there's something wrong.
But what do we do in this kind of a situation that we have that's brewing in
You
Edo, when people are standing by age-old traditions
yes.
of very much the way Charles has explained it, that look, politics has, a shop window side, and it also has the back end side. So they only put what is necessary in the shop window, so that when you're passing in the streets, when you're saying you're a student of politics, be looking at that one. But the rest of the stuff is done behind bars. I mean, sorry.
Right. Behind the
behind scene. Because we're continuing this allegory. Because what we're doing is that how can we have a situation where the governor himself was there at this place, his deputy was there,
with the apparatus
even
of state.
And the apparatus of
from Edo State, who was...
They even say that it thanks to the security detail of,
the governor.
Of the governor.
Yes. Even, what's his name, Senator Domingo Bende. I'm sure you remember that man who, with the bill, this same-sex bill, good. He was also there. Now, I think what we should be looking at is for the government. For instance, there are also allegations that the young man who also led the who also led the activities of this violence. Okay. There's also allegation that it's a relation of Oshiomhole. That's his name is Romeo, allegedly so. That it was Romeo who led those boys to start attacking and breaking cars around.
But you see, that will be up to investigation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I say it's allegation.
Right on the doorstep of the
that's what I want to say. That look, what I expect Irama, because I want to speak Irama. Irama is our father.
Okay.
Who is Oshiomhole? We call it Irama. Okay. Yeah. What I say Irama Oshiomhole should do is that when such things are, if you are hosting such an event of such magnitude, it was going to be the very first convocation of that school.
Yes.
The University of
Edo State University.
Yeah, exactly. Right in opposite his house. Now, you now imagine the use of the town. Now, allegedly fomenting. It is Americans will call it a downer in the terms of image for him. The governor, by virtue of his office, he is also supposed to be the chief host of everyone who came there, because as the governor of the state, the school owned by the state was going to organize a convocation. He's supposed to be the chief host. So what I want Oshiomhole to do is to please, not the one people will broker truths. He should just pick that call, and call Obaseki.
Okay, I got to go on a break now. We'll come back. We'll include your calls as well, because no doubt you will also have ideas about what exactly is going on. The Edo State, the APC chairman, who is an indigenous of Edo State and who has been as a former governor of Edo State, he appears to be locked in horns with the incumbent governor, who, he did a lot to bring into office, and then things went awry since then. We'll be right back. We'll take your contributions as well. Okay, welcome back. Mr. Ahmed Dada Baz. Well, he is lawyer, but I'm just sort of getting my head around the, president, chairman of the PTA of Queen's College.
Yes, so he's also a president.
And the way you sort of sorted a long-standing matter out, and using it as some sort of an example of what can be done in terms of where there's a will, there's a way.
Yes.
Where there's a will, there's a way. Possibilities.
Yes.
Now, these possibilities have been explored reportedly by no less than the Oba of Benin, no less than
Auchi,
Abuja, and still we are where we are in terms of rapprochement. Everybody appears to be sticking to their guns. What's the way out here? Because this is not a satisfactory state of affairs.
Very, very simple. You see, once you allow impunity to reign and become part and part of a political culture, you keep having things like this. Because to me, the honest truth is that the political practice in Nigeria today is that every political party and any politician how do I put it now? A politician that is weighty in Nigeria. We shouldn't shy away from the fact that one way or the other, they all encourage thuggery of one form or the other. And that is why it is happening. I find it ridiculous, sir. Like rightly said, Oshiomhole is the national chairman of APC. And Edo State is governed by an APC governor. They have the machinery of the state and of the federal might behind them. It's like saying President Buhari is visiting Edo State and he's having dinner with Oshiomhole, and that some miscreants and some rascals could inflict
They're taking advantage of that too.
Unleashing mayhem on his entourage. It should not even be. We shouldn't fathom it at all. It's an eyesore.
It is.
It's an insult on the entire apparatus of government.
Indeed. So much so that
invited people, dignitaries, and that they could be...
And were put in harm's way.
Yeah, they
that
could
is
be
it
vowed.
really.
No.
They were actually put in harm's way by the attitude of those citizens of Edo. Good morning to one of our friends. I won't say long lost, but we've not heard about Reverend Dominic for a while. Good morning, Dominic.
Good morning, Chief Yori.
Thanks for calling in.
Good morning to your two guests here.
Indeed.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yori, I don't want to agree with your guests that with cap. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Which aspect?
He said that the problem is not the governor nor Adams Oshiomhole.
Okay.
The problem is with the governor and Adams Oshiomhole. One, if Adams Oshiomhole I know very well as a comrade, has called these 12 members of the State Assembly, which is the problem. Young men, go back to his house. This young man is my friend. We will sort out things later. That will die naturally. Now he has not done that. You're in number two. Who informed these our brothers? They call them talks. I hate that language. Who informed these our brothers and sisters that the governor want to have dinner or lunch with the governor, with other guests? Who informed them? Yori, if you ask me to come to your house for lunch, if I didn't tell my wife, she will not know. If I don't tell my son, he will not know. Who informed those young men? Which means the governor, Adams Oshiomhole informed his supporters to come and help him while they were eating lunch. That's by the side. Let me tell you, there's a governor who has defied Godfatherism, who has defied songwriters, song praises in this nation. Peter Obi, if there's a 10 what they call Godfatherism in Lagos or anywhere in Nigeria, there's 1 million in Anambra State. If there's people who want favor in government, 10 in Lagos, there's 1 million in Anambra State. When Peter Obi came, he defied it and showed leadership. Why? When he said nobody will steal, he was not stealing. I can't believe in Edo State. If the man has shown character and not stealing, they will obey him. The problem in Nigeria is that you want to be a total idea man, but you want people around you to watch you take the purse of the state. They will not allow it. Because the purse of the state does not belong to you alone. If the governor is disciplined, people around him will discipline. He has proven in Anambra State. If you ask the story of Anambra State, I thought it's mission impossible in this world for someone to govern another state. But somebody came, as we say as law in the law, if you are coming to equity, you must come with clean hands. The man in Edo State is not clean. If you want a clean government, as I have said, I heard them 2 weeks ago that they want to share money. The question is that, are you sharing money? Ask governor that way. If you're not sharing money, nobody will ask you for money. Nigerians are not stupid. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Reverend Dominic.
Yes. The line of thought that he threw on, I wouldn't want to believe that Oshiomhole could have, it's a matter of probably could have invited or told anybody. No. If you were going to organize a convocation in the University of Lagos, it would be for everybody, right? Even the school is directly opposite the home of Oshiomhole. So whether the talks, they didn't come there as talks initially. They came there also maybe onlookers or even uninvited guests. So it's just that those boys who did that, or whether boy or men, they had their own ulterior motive. If possible, they also do not love. They are not supporters of.
But the question is that this was not spontaneous. Is the proper what? But
I would no.
But you're not sure about that.
If we're saying that Oshiomhole could have invited or could have told them, which means it's like the image of Oshiomhole is being reduced to the pedestrian, which is not good. Which is not good. No. I'm just conjecturing. Yes. So I think what I expect people to be saying is that Oshiomhole should call he has his own followers. He should call them to order. Obaseki himself should also call his followers to order, because whatever these are two elders in the state. Edo is supposed to be an elitist state, for goodness sake. It's an elitist state where education has been there for it. But I think both of them should come together to find a way to say, okay, let's get out of this quagmire, so that all these people around will not take advantage of it. If Oshiomhole picks up that phone and calls Obaseki, I'm telling you, by default, all this will come to an end.
Okay. Collins in Abuja, good morning, sir.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Collins.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
What I want to say on this issue between Oshiomhole and Obaseki is the thing that is playing out is why we should not have godfatherism in politics in Nigeria. Dominic said something about P2B. P2B was able to do those things because he had no godfather. There is no way Obaseki will extricate himself from Oshiomhole, because Oshiomhole gave him power against all odds. He intimidated the PDP, he did a lot of things and brought him into power. So he has to face it. My problem in this issue is that it is the Edo people that are suffering. Governance is put to a halt because of these political, problems between, the godfather and the godson. And I am so worried that APC has not found it worthy, push Oshiomhole aside, set up a committee to solve this problem once and for all, so that the government will move forward. Oshiomhole will remember, in Edo you have Zone A, B, C, the Benin, these other people, before Auchi.
Yes,
Deshan too, yes. Lucky Benedion Road, Osumbo came, Oshiomhole came. Then the thing reverted to A, which is where Obaseki came from. Why is Oshiomhole worrying the man? Why is he worrying him? Must Obaseki be tied to Oshiomhole? It's not proper. You understand? He should leave the man to put in his best. And let the Edo people judge.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling in. Ahmed, he's extended this that, look, the Godfather problem. Let me just call it that. Let me leave problem out of it. The Godfather phenomenon. He says that is part of the problem. But then, in the same breath, he is saying that, well, if you want to consider, former governor, comrade, and current chairman APC, if you want to consider him a godfather, well, yeah, because he did bring him. But then expecting that he will be tied to his apron strings, if indeed that is what Oshiomhole desires, which nobody has said yet, that this is where the whole problem comes. So he's brought in the Godfather phenomenon, and this is another thing that goes back to what Charles was saying, that this is how we do things here. Whether you like it or not, this is how we do things here. Is there much to that, or do you think that part of it is being overhyped?
No. That is the reality.
That actually...
That is the norm. Because most time, if he were to be a traditional politician, He's a technocrat. That's why he's having this problem. If he were to be a traditional politician, look, those who in the corridors of power, ask them, you set money aside to share for the party people.
The way you're saying it, Ahmed.
No. See, except you want me to be a diplomat.
No. And this is what's going on across the country. All states.
Yes.
Unaccounted for resources that they use in settling political machinery is even probably more than the amount for governance. That is the reality.
There are only so many jobs. And all this, you know, before we were saying that, look, when people align with you because you're seeking office, and they're doing it with an eye on returns.
Yes.
But there are only so many jobs. There's only so much money. And this is where you're going to enter trouble.
Yes. You see, that is why at the end of 4 years or 8 years of a governor, sometimes you want to look at the resources that came to the state and the impact, the development on ground. There is no correlation. There is no nexus. You can't, you see states that have taken trillions of naira after our democracy was ushered in back to Nigeria. You go back to those states, take the Niger Deltas states, for example, with all the Ompadek or Sopadek and all the rest of them, the billions. You go back there to look at what has happened to this one. Absolutely
there's nothing on the ground.
There's nothing.
Obeifun in Benin, did I get that right?
Obeifun.
Yes, thank you so much.
Good morning, sir. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Obeifun and I'm calling from Benin.
Sure.
I just want to contribute in the terms of this issue of Oshiomhole and Obaseki.
And particularly the crisis over the weekend where dignitaries that were invited guests to Edo State were put in harm's way.
Yes. And now, there is something I want to say here. You see, this man, the so-called the chairman of Oshiomhole.
No, it's not so-called. It's not so-called. He is the chairman.
The chairman, Oshiomhole, and the governor, Mr. Godwin Obaseki. You discover that these are father and son. You cannot deny that. I'm calling you from Benin. It's father and son issue. But you know, the only place I have issue is that, you know, Reverend Dominic called and he was saying that Oshiomhole supposed to call the governor, he's supposed to call the other 12 to talk to them to go to the house. What stopped the son to meet the father also to talk? You see, we just continue to beat around the bush. Like what the other man that is not with cap.
Mr. Bass. The one in cap, Mr. Idaho.
No, without cap. Cap.
That's Mr. Bass.
Yes. Like what that man said. Not that he's not saying the truth. He's saying the truth. But I'm telling this thing to him that is not possible. What he's seeking for is not possible. And he said, no, that is not possible. You cannot say, yes, he knows what I'm talking about. Look, my brother, let me tell you the truth.
But the longest journey starts with the first step, is what they say.
Oshiomhole fight for this man. Me personally, I was not even expecting this man to emerge. Yeah. I don't even like this man to emerge. But all of a sudden, Oshiomhole forcing on us. And we are even happy that this kind of fight is going on. We enjoy the fight.
It serves him right, right?
So please, what I want to say is that forget about, don't say Oshiomhole is the problem. Don't say Obaseki is the problem. Let them do it because Obaseki have his own secret agenda. Just as Oshiomhole also have his own secret agenda. Obaseki wants to be the leader if Oshiomhole is gone because Oshiomhole, that is what he did before. So please, let us be frank in what we are discussing. Are you aware that Obaseki even bought a house now in GRA, Ikopo House?
No, you don't.
Allegedly so. That's an allegation.
Wait. Do you have any papers? Do you have any papers in your possession?
You confirm it. You are journalists investigating yourself.
No, we can't
you
go
know what
there.
I'm talking about.
Mr.
So
Glevo.
because what I'm saying is, look at it. What I'm saying is that, please, what I'm saying is that they are father and son. Let them do their game. We are watching them.
Okay, political father and political son.
But you see, truly, when I made allusion to this issue of that it was a utopian idea was canvassing.
Well,
there's a young man, not so young. There's a guy who is called.
But we can't remain the way we
okay,
are.
let me tell you what. There's a guy called Tony Kabaka.
Okay.
Okay, I forgot his surname, but it's Tony Kabaka. I mean, it's a version of Olomo here in Lagos. It's the BENIN version of Olomo here in Lagos. The guy was just like the drivers, and so on. But look, this is a guy who, if you look at the state-of-the-art hotel he built somewhere at, I think Ugbo or something.
A transport business was paying.
No. He was on that corridor of power when Oshiomhole was there.
Okay.
So this is a guy who was like a youth leader. I mean, if you go visit him, if you go visit his his shrine, to worship, because when you want to be elected, he has his own followers who he will snap his fingers. People will queue behind you. So these are the people who, I mean, the guy, himself is also have problem with Obaseki, because it's no more having the access to the government machinery anyway. So these are some of the things we are talking about. But in looking for a solution, I will advise Irama Oshiomhole. He was the one who said he saw something in Obaseki. Obaseki has a mandate to deliver whatever he has, the mandate all of us collectively gave him. I think he should be allowed to serve out these 4 years.
Well,
if the people of Edo decide to say he merits a re-election, so be it.
Yeah.
Because Oshiomhole, against all odds, he came in, he served for 4 years, and he was even given another, his mandate was renewed for another term. So Oshiomhole came, he has a job to do. If the people of Benin, of Edo State, whether Benin speaking, Esan speaking, Afemai speaking, if they all believe that the man indeed merits a re-election, so be it.
Okay. Mr. Joshua in Ogun State. Good morning, sir.
Okay, Yori, good morning.
Thank you for calling in.
Straight, I appreciate your guest, but I really want to appreciate Ahmed Dada Abbas, and I congratulate him for his
Queen's College chairmanship.
That was beautiful. I was in that environment before, and what he said today, I'm delighted. I want to believe with him that the dream we have of Nigeria will come to pass. This idea of sharing money, they are sharing blood. Blood is pursuing them. On Edo State, Uncle Yori, maybe you should just drop this matter. I think the crisis is not going anywhere. But the APC should know that a house that is divided against itself cannot stand. I think the current governor, the truth is that he doesn't have a platform. He came to be governor through Oshiomhole. That's the truth. He came to be governor through Oshiomhole. I finger something bigger than Oshiomhole fighting Obaseki. It's not true. The truth is that there's a third party in that fight, because the immediate chairman of APC is in the same Edo State. That's a powerful force. So the truth is that they should finger another party in that crisis. It's not just APC crisis, it's not just APC.
Okay. All right.
So they should know that very well.
Indeed. Thank you very much for calling in.
You see, what we must try to do is we must reshape the mindset of our people. If you keep having politics of godfathers installing God's son, who should become an appendage probably for having access to control the wealth of that state, and when you disagree, then they unleash violence on you. I do not need any prophet to tell me your nation is not going anywhere. Number one, you can't attract the intellectual brain that will orchestrate development. The brightest of your brain will run away from that politics because it's violence filled. Simply because I'm a man of ideas and I do not want to be bought over. I have independent mindedness. I want to advance the cause of the society. Meanwhile, you want to pocket me. Now I've committed an offense, and the next thing is you unleash violence on me. You can never attract the brightest of your brain. They will keep going to Canada and Australia and America to go and better the lot of that society and allow you people to run the kind of politics you want to run. So we must keep telling ourselves those godfathers in American politics, America that we borrow politics from, even when Barack Obama or any president roll up their sleeve to help to install any president, once the president is installed, they fizzle into the backside and allow the president to take over. When the Republican take over, did you hear of George Bush?
Okay. One moment, please. Mr. Akpaye in Igbesa, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Yori.
Yes, please go ahead.
So my contribution to the program on the telly is very simple. My own contribution is that I believe the project started when the governor refused to allow the House of Assembly to elect their own leader. When we have about maybe 6 or thereabout the number of members of the assembly electing the leader. So why can't the governor allow for the true democracy to go on in the state assembly? That is my own question to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ekpaye. It's a sorry story, the entire thing, quite frankly. Oshiomhole is actually the chairman of APC, because the question I had was that hasn't it reached the stage for the party to get involved, APC, and in this case, Oshiomhole is APC, quote unquote, you know what I mean. So what's the way out of the logjam?
You can force a horse to deliver, but you can never force a horse to drink water. You know what happened in Ogun State when Governor Ibikule Amusu was there, very close to the president, and the party tried to resolve the crisis. He fielded a candidate and publicly supported a non-APC candidate. Against all odds.
But he paid dearly for it.
No, against all in a disciplined party.
Yeah.
What do you think would have happened to him?
Have been punished.
So we ought to have been punished.
Exactly.
Anti-party. Somebody came out.
Exactly.
On your party is your. I mean, a senatorial candidate supporting another candidate from another party, bankrolling him and supporting in black, campaigning on his behalf, and that's we are just practicing democratic anomaly in Nigeria.
That is exactly
it's
what
an anomaly.
is going on. And it's a very complex, and some people understand and are experts at this very political anomaly.
That's why that party...
And there are people who are also feasting from it.
And there are people who are also feasting. So what can we do? We just got our fingers crossed and hope this will be sorted out before any real injury ensues.
We hope so too. For Edo to make progress.
Indeed.
We actually need progress in that state. Then if they are able to resolve this crisis...
Thanks, Charles. We've completely run out of time. And also to thank you, Mr. Ahmed Dada Abbas. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for sharing your insight in this. So that's our program. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.